If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. These words have become my life's motto. They were uttered for the first time by a fitness guru, and I'm sure he had something a little different in mind. He was probably talking about the idea that exercises don't necessarily get easier. We get stronger. But I took his words and I made them my own. And whenever I'm offering advice to someone, it's always the same, really. It's some variation on, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Challenges come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them show up on our doorstep when we don't exactly want them there. There are other challenges that we have to go out and find, and I feel like we do that when our lives are at a standstill. And that's where I find myself now, not really knowing what to do next. All of the jobs I've had have one thing in common. They involve some kind of element of teaching, and those have been my favorite moments, to be honest. I love working with people. I love the idea of making a difference. I love when I get to see that someone finally gets something. I love when I have to try and do the problem solving and figure out how to get a point across to someone. It's a challenge for me, just as much as it is for the person I'm teaching. I had my first significant challenge about 3 years ago when I moved to Denmark for my boyfriend. Things didn't work out between us, by the way, but I still had the opportunity to experience what it was to live abroad. I got to learn a new language and experience a new way of being. When I got in the country, though, I was pretty much convinced there was no possible way I was going to be able to do it. To learn a new language I didn't understand, to shop in stores that I was afraid I wouldn't be able to find what I was looking for. And I was used to large stores that had everything you needed, not these tiny stores that maybe carried a single item. It took a lot of learning, a lot of opening my mind in ways it hadn't been open before, but I did it. I rose to the occasion. And I feel that my being challenged in that sense led me to be able to embrace challenges in the future. In fact, just this last January, I went to Argentina by myself. I never would have done that in my previous life. And I want to be a part of helping other people to embrace challenges, to grow. Because really, if it doesn't challenge us, it doesn't change us. And if we can't change, we can't grow. And if we can't grow, we can't move forward. And that's what we need to do as a people, as individuals, as societies, as a world. We need to move forward. I want to be a part of that. My name's Amanda Worthington, and I live in Kansas City, Missouri, which is just a few miles from the exact center of the United States. When I came back from Denmark, I took on some jobs where, as I've said, I had a lot of teachable moments. I went to school to be a librarian, and so I worked in libraries. I worked in a college library, a public library, even a library in a school of medicine. And the challenges in each situation were different, but I rose to each one because I'd gone through lots of challenges in the past, and I'd learned how to actually embrace the challenge and use it as an opportunity to grow and to help others grow. Teaching for me is a two-way street. It's not just the teacher sharing information with the students, it's the students offering feedback, and it's a loop. It's a feedback loop. Teaching is very communicative, but it's also a listening process. It's also a process by which you hone in on the needs of your students and adapt accordingly. I feel like I'm excellent at adaptation because of some of the things I've been through. Returning to the US was not a mistake, but I sort of feel the urge again to explore other places that I haven't seen. I want the opportunity to teach in Korea so that I can see a culture I've always been curious about but never truly experienced. But I also want the opportunity to be a part of that learning process. I love language, and I love the idea of meeting challenge head-on, of building a foundation, and then building upon that foundation step by step, because even when things seem impossible, they're not impossible when we do them together. I hope for the opportunity to work with you soon.